Watch out. Watch out.
Violence. Quit the game because of these attacks.
Absolutely terrible day.
It was on human beings.
It's a very worrying trend.
Football, it brings joy. It is a passionate sport and ultimately it unites. This sport ignites dreams in children and unites entire communities under one banner of hope. But when that same passion boils over into violence, the consequences are harrowing. Lives are shattered, trust is broken, and the soul of the beautiful game begins to bleed.
The officials were threatened. They were insulted, threatened that they would beat them, as had happened in the one man so far or something. And so the referees were
I think they were intimidated.
They were intimidated. That one man, the referee doesn't want to also be beaten like what. So he was scared. And look at what happened. Now what happened to everybody saw it. Sure. People have been calling. They saw it live. Sure. Everybody was looking. What happened to that last goal that they didn't take? You see, these are some of the things that happen in Ghana football. If you were a coach, you really don't know whether you are going forward or you are going back. You prepare your team and you come for it, and the referee robs you. And then they tell you they will beat you like Omanasofo.
Referees, the guardians of the game, become prey. Simply for doing their job, they are intimidated and hunted.
Watch out, coach. Watch out. Watch out.
Teams are smuggled out under the cover of chaos. Fans are injured, some left fighting for their lives. For many, survival comes at a cost, a lifetime of trauma. Others never return the same. My name is Haruna Mubarak. In this documentary, I walk you through the dark corners of Ghanaian football where brutality and fear have found a home. These are real stories of pain, survival, and loss from those lucky to still draw breath and from those who lost everything to a game gone wrong. They call it the passion of the nation. In Ghana, football is more than just a sport. From scrappy pitches in the hinterlands to packed Premier League stadia, it draws thousands. Each game is a festival of hope. But on May 9, 2001, hope was crushed beneath a wave of horror. Hearts of Oak versus Asante Kotoko, the biggest rivalry in Ghana.
The initial running down from VIP into the stadium, outside the perimeters of control, you're then looking at the confusion and hearing shouts, moaning, and yet I was not seeing fighting going on. So then then you realize that there's smell of tear gas in the air that has been fired by some members of the security forces. Running upstairs, and then there's a shock of people crying, sitting on the ground, the tear gas bringing water to everybody's eyes, and then you realize suddenly that the stairwell was choked, bodies intertwined and completely and utterly choked. So I left there and ran downstairs to see what was coming at the other end and realized the gate was locked. So people trying to leave could not leave. People trying to escape from the tear gas were getting trapped. You see. And so I run back up again, shouting for people to help. The stairwell was such that there's a gap between the stairwell and the wall, and bodies, some had fallen down to the ground. Many of those who passed died of asphyxiation. They could not breathe. So I started grabbing bodies and asking people to help me, and carried bodies up the stairs, down the stairways, down, and there were pickups there. The security forces had run away. There was no police. There was nothing. I couldn't even breathe as I carried. Somebody said you carried about 30 bodies. I don't know. But seeing people in tears, one or two people just saying, "Chairman, please, we're not dead." Because they were motionless by the time we were carrying them and putting them on our shoulder and then running across and then running down, putting them down, coming back up, and then getting some people to stop crying, shouting at them like, "Come on, pull yourself together, come and help." And then more people got to help. It was an absolutely terrible day.
As I'm walking towards the exit, before I get inside, I realized that my foot wasn't on the floor. It was on human beings. My brother, before I realized I was in the middle. I can't go back. I can't go out. All that you can hear, "Oh, me woo, na mutu, me woo, na mutu," and that's it. Me woo, na mutu, and that's it. I was looking at somebody like this, and the person is saying, "Please help me. But your me woo, before you see, it's gone." It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, my brother. A lot of people passed. It was a lot of pressure. No air. People are struggling. You imagine that you are working on people. Over 200-300 people in that exit, that small exit. Just imagine.
More than 125 lives gone. Supporters who left for a football match never returned home. Never again, they said, but 24 years on, again continues to haunt the game. Warning.
We are all concerned, and you will also agree with me that our culture of deeply rooted in passionate behavior, especially these fans that are so violent, and they wouldn't change their mind, especially when they are supporting their clubs. And then identifying these violent people in very big crowd, these things pose as a very big challenge for all the security services, especially the stakeholders, when it comes to footballing at our stadium.
Referees are the first in line to fall victim. A perceived wrong call and their lives hang in the balance.
You could kick from goal kick, and your colleague can receive the ball and score directly. Yes, it was difficult for them to understand. They thought, no, when the ball got to the last but one defender, the opponent was right behind the last but one defender. So he took the ball and went to score. He said, no, it was offside. Then it wasn't offside because it was from goal kick. It was hell broke loose and everybody was beating me.
So, as they began approaching you, like what was the feeling? Were you scared?
You know,
Was it like this will be my
those times the field had no defense wall or barricade or barrier street or whatever, so they were just coming onto the field, pushing me from behind, side, and I mean, my dear, it's normal. It was normal. I didn't run. I just allowed myself to be beaten for a while. When they saw blood coming out of my nose, then they stopped. Oh, your bamunjai, oh, your bamunjai. Even that, the one I just told you is Colts. You remember Zetuna RTU, Almighty Zetuna RTU in Tamale? It was a decider. If I take harsh decisions, it might affect the game. So I wanted to contain them for a while. So when it got to a level boiling point, I had to just issue out the red card. And that is where hell broke loose and Gideon Ba, then, I don't know whether you know him, he was playing for Kotoko. He used to play for Zetuna. He came on, hit me here, and I said, no, this time I'm too mature to allow you to do this. I can give birth to you. Who told you that you can do this to me? So we fought. I removed my boots and hit him. Some people say I headed him, and I didn't see whether I headed him. And I was military men, policemen. After the game, I managed to finish the game because it was a decider. I needed to have somebody who would go on relegation and others who would stay in the Premiership. So I managed to finish the game, and I was escorted. We were escorted, referees, we were escorted by the military to our hotel.
A trailblazer in women's football, Mercy Tego played at 2 World Cups before officiating at the global showpiece, and yet she faced brutalities. She fought back against pain and the darkness threatening to consume her. Others weren't so lucky. Theresa Bremansu is an example.
Yes, she's my little girl. You know, fortunately, refereeing has developed to a certain level where we have psychologists in there. We have experienced people who serve as mentors to these young up-and-coming female referees. So I believe that I'm no more into refereeing, so I don't know much in there. But then I believe that they will use themselves to talk to them. They see them as mentors. I want to be like Christine Ziga. I want to be like Mercy Tego. I want to be like Vivian Ago. I want to be like Abigail Soa. I want to be like Faustina Zokli and others, you know. So how did they do it? So I believe they share their experience with them and also learn the laws of the game.
The heartbeat of the sport are not spared. Their only crime was wearing the badge of their club with pride. On February 7, 2021, Abubakar Nawaz was living his dream, playing for Tamale-based side Real Tamale United. In a Division 1 league match against Nswatreman in Nswatre, he encountered the darkest moment of his career.
We're going to our dressing room and there was this lady. I think there's this one particular lady, the recent incident, they mentioned her name. She was standing at the exit where we will pass. So our captain was coming to enter and he pushed him back. So then he went ahead to even slap our captain. So our captain was also trying to retaliate. Then the whole incident started. They started stoning us from all angles. You will run and pass here, a stone is coming. Run and pass here, a stone is coming. So I was just there and one boy shouted, "Ajibayo." When I just turned, a stone came and hit my head. And that...
Which part of your head?
I think it was here. So it was very unfortunate because the stone was heavy, and God really saved me because that stone that hit me, and I think I was injured. I was bleeding. All my dress was full of blood, like everything. Even the inner I was wearing was also with blood.
Nawas was once the pride of Tamale. Nicknamed Adebayo, he had a future. Until that match in Nswatre changed everything. The assault broke not just his body, but his dreams.
If myself, I don't say I regret. People who know me very well, they see me, and even my secondary school headmaster, one day he saw me and was shocked that why am I still in Ghana? He felt like by now I should have been in Europe playing for a big club because the qualities I was displaying. And most people in Tamale too, when they see me and ask me, have you stopped playing football? And I say, yes, what they shit. You could have been one of the people that would travel and come and will also be enjoying wearing your jerseys. But to me, yes, I also regret deeply because I know how football is, what benefit football have given to so many guys.
Patronage is down. There are footballers who have quit the game because of these attacks and flashbacks that they've had. Majority of them don't want to play here because you can easily be beaten. There are referees who have quit. Some of them have quit and traveled out of the country because they started as referees, but being beaten around is clearly putting your life at risk, and it has affected the game in so many facets.
And then came the darkest day yet. February 2, 2025, Nswatreman FC versus Asante Kotoko. A match that should have been remembered for football, but was not. Nswatreman won 1-0, but the victory was marred by chaos. Tensions boiled over on the pitch and in the stands. And in the end, a Kotoko supporter was stabbed to death.
The ambulance no way.
Ever wonder how it feels to lose a husband? Gifty's pain was palpable and almost unbearable.
Jesus. Jesus. Mama, what's it? Mama. You don't go home with my boy. Ebenezer, I mean, this is my boy. See me to my 79.
Football stopped. A 33-day mourning. The Ghana Football Association responded with enhanced protocols, but the pain ran deeper than policies.
Mr. Speaker, I was very sad to hear my colleague mentioned that they were struggling to get very simple first aid. You don't have ambulances. You have no business playing football in such a field. That is a death trap. But we go there and nothing happens, so we think that is a football field. No. What was the police situation at the football field? Where were the police? What was the requirement of security that was supposed to be upheld in the stadium? In this particular instance, the information we have is that this young man had been threatened prior to the match, and that the security agencies should have known that what happened to the young man could happen. I would like to call on you to direct the Ministry of Sports to take this matter very seriously, and that if the GFA cannot follow rigorous protocols for licensing our football stadia, we should not be playing football as a country.
Attacks have done to the league. It is so much to the extent that they lose money. You lose fans, you lose the luster, you lose quality players, you lose journalists. A lot of people have quit reporting on the game, journalists, because of attacks.
When violence takes center stage in footballing issues in the country, it drives away sponsors. A lot of people don't want to be associated with bad brands that are tainted with violence and illegality. It drives away a lot of sponsors. So it's in the interest of the FA, the clubs, the supporters, the players, every stakeholder in the sport of football to join hands and ensure that we uproot violence from the game of football. It has no place at all in football. It affects us, it affects the branding, it affects attraction to sponsors and new partners who will help us to improve the fortunes of the game.
The time for talking is over. It's time to act.
At some points in time, I wonder whether government should not start thinking of bringing in a sports czar. Somebody who comes in to clean up the mess. Because there's too much mess. And the mess is unnecessary. Maybe ministers don't get it or not capable of doing it. Then you need a sports czar equipped with law to be able to get in and say, we're starting a fast-track court. We're starting a sports resolution dispute section that like they have in Kenya. So therefore it is you are in a position now to take action against something and get a resolution within 2 weeks. It's not 6 months, it's not 2 years. You can close down things that change things.
Lack of security is violence that can lead to loss of lives, property, injury, etc., etc. And so I think that moving forward, the GFA must consider clubs contributing a certain minimum amount to bear the cost of security. Because when the policemen or the soldiers or whoever come there as security men attend the match, some of them may be traveling from faraway places and they will incur costs. At least if you can't even give him food to eat, at least water and the cost of coming there must be paid. But he cannot finance the match by paying for his own transportation, coming there to buy water, and it will not even give him a peace of mind to do the work. So it's important in the interest of football, in the interest of the GFA and the clubs and the spectators, that the clubs and the GFA find a way to bear the cost. And since it's the home match of the clubs, they have to find a way to do it. If the GFA has sponsorship, that would be the ultimate, that burden will be taken off the shoulders of the clubs, and then they can pay for security during games.
We should all be cautious. Whatever happens, our stadium negatively sends the message all over the world, and it has its consequences.
So those who go and misbehave, what would you do to them when you get them?
You see, like I initially said, they are arrested, sent to court, and they are prosecuted. So if you come to the stadium and misbehave, misconduct, you see, you will definitely go through this legal processes. And nobody, even the club that you are supporting, cannot help you. So we'll plead with all the fans to rather celebrate than to come and cause mayhem or harm a fan or somebody.
Football must return to what it once was, a game of joy, of unity, not of blood and sorrow. We must reclaim it before it's too late. Say no to hooliganism, because football deserves better.
When